Alrighty. So, last time let's see what we did last time. I think we removed the cookies and we added viewer games. Yeah, that's what I thought. So now, like, you can have a bunch of players, and if you go to a player, then you can see the queue and you can join the queue, and if you're already in the queue, then yeah, that's just how it is. And we also removed the current player from the cookie because it was storing way too much shit. So right now we're only storing the ID on the session, and then we'll, as like a plug, we just get the current player and we assign it to the connection. So we get it from the DB if it is there. That's cool, but we still have a massive bug if you're not logged in. So let me show you what happens. If you're not logged in, so as you can see, I'm not logged in, and I click join the queue, the whole app blows up because we expect that you have a current player. That current player doesn't exist because you're not logged in. So what we need to do is, as suggested by someone the last stream, is, which makes a lot of sense normally, but because this is kind of a public facing route, it didn't really occur to me. But obviously you could think of this join queue API call as something, as if you were just normally do something behind a login wall, which makes a lot of sense. So in this case, this app that you're showing here, this page that you're showing here is open, but doing an API call to join the queue for this broadcaster requires you to be logged in. Now, I'm still thinking hard in terms of product, what we're gonna do with this, because maybe from a product perspective, it makes more sense to have people join people's viewer games faster without having an account. But that opens up a lot of different problems as well. Like, how is that user gonna, get a username for his games or connect his games if he doesn't have an actual player? We could make a shadow player, basically a player without an actual account attached to it, and then as soon as the user logs in or he wants to keep his record, we could ditch it. Or when he creates something and then when he connects his account, chat is bugged. I can see chat. At least. As soon as a user connects an account that we already know about, then we link the two together. But that is also a lot of work. I don't really know. We still got to think through the flow of what the perfect scenario would be from a product perspective. But at least we can already start building and fixing this bug. So I think it would be nice to have a plug that we can pull into our controllers, that we can say, okay, this either controller or a set of routes that is authenticated. I think a controller, blocking off the entire controller, makes most sense, but I'm not entirely sure. But let's take a look at what the controller currently looks like. So we have a player controller, and a player controller has a join queue action, and this join queue action gets the player by the player ID, which is from the URL, so this player right here. And this will blow up when it doesn't find one, so it will show a 404 page. Same for this one, it will blow up. And then for this one is the bug that we're talking about here. So we expect that the connection assigns has a current player that is actually a player model. While this one is public, this one is not public. So we could either say we pull in some authentication plug and we tell it that only these actions are require authentication, or require a player, or we just say the entire controller. But I think we could kind of do the same plug there. So requires player.ex. So I don't know if that's supposed to be a plug or a controller, but let's see. Plug, controller, Elixir. Maybe the chat is bugged, or maybe nobody's here. I don't know. Nonetheless, we can continue. Plug pipeline here. Plug authenticate usernames. Oh, so okay, so we were kind of right. It disconnects one time. All right, if you're in the chat, you can also join the Discord, and then I'll check on my phone the Discord, and then if you guys are like, I have a hard time connecting to Discord. What the fuck? Everything is broken. No. Anyways. Guards. Plug 2 in controller supports guards, allowing developers to configure the plug to only run in some particular action. Holy shit! I was right! That is so cool. Oh, that's sick. Wow, okay, so we were actually thinking of the right thing here. That's awesome. That's cool. That's sweet. I really don't know. Let me just disconnect from the Wi-Fi. Maybe just the Wi-Fi is the problem. I cannot connect to Discord. You're playing DZ right now? It's all good, it's all good. Maybe if somebody else is in the chat, just use the Nerd Talk channel or some other channel. Anyhow. Okay, so plug authenticate, and then we can make a plug. If we make the plug ourselves, we can just link to it here, and then we can say controllers are plugs. Interesting. Okay, yeah, let's do that then. I think this is cool. I think we're on the right track here. That's awesome. So let's copy this plug here. We need the player, and then we say requires player. So we say plug requires player, and then the actions. But then the actions are already based on pattern matching themselves, so I don't even think we need that necessarily. What we just need to do is basically do exactly this call. And then we say player. I want to pattern match that this is actually a player. Double fade. I don't know how to do that though, because I also want to assign it to a variable. I don't know how that works. Well, let's just see how that goes. Let's just see how that goes. So what do we want to happen when... What do we want to happen whenever... Okay, hold up. So what I do here is they get the session, and it's in the options usernames. Right. Then return the connection, authorize, redirect to, and then halt. The plugin calls halt. It will halt the pipeline. It will not invoke the action. That's cool. That's cool. We need that. I don't really know what we want to do though. I think we want to return to a like 401 unauthorized. You need to be logged in order to perform this action. But I'm not entirely sure. I think that makes the most sense though. We at least want to give the status code 401 because the person is not authorized. But how do I pattern match this? Okay, let's do a case statement then. If nil. No, that's really not what we want. Do we? Maybe it is what we want. I think it is what we want. We want to check if this is nil, then it is unauthorized. Meaning that we need to do con, put status, I think. Status. Yep, put status. And then is there any, put status, is there any like things we can use, or do we need to, oh yeah, we can use atoms for this. Not found. Atoms that can be used for status codes. With the above configuration, the following will all work. Custom status codes. Yeah, we don't have custom status codes. Status. Code, integer, or atom. So unauthorized, right? Valid request 401 here. Unauthorized, cool. So we're telling the connection from this point on, you're now going to set the status code to 401, and then we're going to render a 401 page that is defined. Where was it defined last time? Oh god, I can't remember. We had it in the previous episode. 401 error Phoenix. I think it is somewhere in error in just the templates. Why is Google so slow? Or why is this website so slow? Why is my internet so slow? Is the stream dying? Oh no. My internet's taking a dump. I think my Wi-Fi's taking a dump. Oh boy. Well, let's try this. Oh, great. Why Wi-Fi? Why you gotta do this? I don't have a internet cable here. Not another one, at least. Oh, okay, there we go. Oh, it doesn't render more. It's still streaming the... Oh god, this is so slow. Boy. I cannot even load fast.com. No, what do you do? Why you gotta do this when I'm streaming? Why? It's funny because it's only the Wi-Fi. Okay, let me connect to my 2.4 gigahertz. Yikes. I think it's on my 1Password. Okay, let me quickly turn off. Oh, this is sad. Big sad. Alright. Give me 1 sec. Let me connect to my Wi-Fi. Just moving the screen away. This is my Windows desktop wallpaper, by the way. You guys are interested. Is this the right password? It is, in fact, the right password. So now do I have connection? It's not the speed that I have, but it is connected. So, you know, what's up, Syndra? Woman told me to say hello. She's getting impatient. Please say hi back. Hello. Templates error. Yeah, so that's what I thought. Okay, so let's do an error. Templates error. Actually, let's see what the default is. Put status. Render 400 401.html. I don't know what this means. Anyways, let's wait for this for now. Let's say alt, because that's what it said here. It said halt. And then let's when it is there, so we have a player, we can just do con. Is this readable? I don't know. Let's lint it. Mix, lint. No, mix format. Probably gonna add an enter, yeah, so I thought. Line break there. Cool, okay, so this, we'll check if there is a current player for this. Is it just enough to just check if this variable is truthy? Not entirely sure. But maybe it is. I don't know. Otherwise, return unauthorized. Cool. Okay, so we don't need any of this, actually. We just import this plug into our controller, and we say use... oh, fuck. Oh, it's plug. Plug this shit, comma, and then when action in... I don't think it's with a comma even. Oh, it is a comma. I don't know if it needs a comma. I don't know. Join queue. Alright, let's see if this works. Let's first just run it everywhere. Maybe that works too. So now if I go here, I'm logged in, so this works. And then when I go here, it would say 500 error. That's a massive 500 error. Exception was raised. The response was neither... Okay, yeah. So, okay. If I do halt, it obviously doesn't render anything. So let's just render a 500 401.html and see if that is enough. Render 2. Okay. All right. Cool. Great. Yeah, sure. So Phoenix, what is the version of Phoenix we're using again? God damn it. Mix Phoenix 1.4. Okay. Oh, that's the music. I was like, what is that sound? I was like, is somebody at my house? Oh, okay. He renders with an empty. Okay. Let's try that. I wonder if it actually knows that it needs to go to errors. I don't think so. I think it needs to then go to the error view. Yeah, so that's on. Okay, so views, error view, template not found. Phoenix controller status message from template. Okay, let's see what this does. I don't know what this does. Cool. Right. Or 4 becomes not found. Render 500. If you want to predict... Okay. Sure. Okay, let's add 401 here. So we're pattern matching render 401.html. 401.html? Yeah, we did that. Cool. HTML, we're not passing anything else. It doesn't really matter what we're passing. And then we're saying internal server error. Okay, let's see if I just do unauthorized. No view yet. Let's see if that works. It doesn't. Okay. Awkward. when does this error view get loaded? Don't you hate it when you're flirting with a girl and she responds with an internal server error? Hate when it happens. Just hate when it happens. Undefined function render 3. Cool. Yo. Alright, let's not do this then. Just do this. Probably render 2, and then it's like, yep, don't know that. No, don't know about that one either. Fuck. Fuck. Oh, I swear. How do I do this? Connection template or assigns. We passed the template and we didn't pass assigns. Renders a given template or the default template specified for the current. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, cool. Yeah, nice. Cool. Sure. Oh, Connection, template, or assigns. Keyword, map, binary, atom. Template, binary. Is binary, is that string? String. Yes. Cool. Awesome. Didn't know that. I'm a little bit lost, to be honest. I don't know when this error view kicks in. Like, what decides now you need to use this error view? Don't know. No idea. I don't know. You tell me. I don't know. Like, when is this called? Template not found. That is way too generic. Phoenix. Let's set this one to dev to true. Dev. Debug errors. It's debug errors false. Let's restart the app. Oops, what did I just do? It's probably still loading. Oh, it cannot compile the file because it doesn't work. God damn it. Gosh darn dang it. Why? Alright, what if I do 404 to HTML? Okay, now you're just gonna blow up on me, huh? Oh, but that's because I turned off the server. Still errors out. Great, yeah, that's perfect. Awesome. Totally, cool. Yeah, great. That's what I wanted. I don't need you. I don't need you to render for one page. A little shit. God damn it. Yeah, I just don't understand. Just no idea. Yeah. Just don't. Just don't know. Phoenix router no route error. No route error. No route. Cool. Sweet. Listening to some smooth jazz. The router. Here we go. We put this on there, and then we pass it through the browser. Sure. That's fine. And then we go to the router here, and it plugs in the connection, and it plugs in the Phoenix controller. That is cool. Awesome. Error helpers. That is also cool, because we don't use that. But yeah, cool. Awesome. I just now realized how this works, actually. I only just now realized how this works. Just now. Only just now. Yeah, only just now. Yep. Cool, yeah, no idea. Render 401 Phoenix. Let's just ask. What should I do? Yep. Send response. Yeah, okay. Cool. I use a fallback controller and then just let the controller return error on the unauthorized, so the controller is nice and dry. The fallback has fallback controller action fallback. Oh, I didn't even know this fucking existed. What? Render might only be available in the controllers? No, I don't think so. I think render was there. Right? Maybe not. It says render 2. Undefined function render 2. Oh, maybe you're right. Oh, render 2 is because it has it needs 2 arguments, maybe? I don't know. Maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. Plug con render. But welcome, recursive. Appreciate that. Oh yeah, it probably is just a controller. Oopsie whoopsie, that makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, you go, redirect you. But I can just ask the controller to do that. Hey, controller. Phoenix controller dot render. Try that, huh? You're right. It was that simple. It was that simple. Alright. Internal server error. Boom. Yay. That does not make a lot of sense, actually. Okay. Cannot render 404. Please define a matching render in the player thing. Yeah. You're right. That makes... Yes. That is why I was thinking, how the fuck put view? Okay. Error view. Yes. Put view. Oh, I hate that it cannot copy paste. Put view, and then what does it do? Module. Cool. Alright, let's get the error view module in here. Sweet. It feels very... it feels very... expressive? Like not auto magic? Not sure if I like it, but it probably works. Doesn't work. Great. It's also... Oh, put view. Oh, that's also part of Phoenix controller. Let's do an alias. Let's not do an alias. Let's do an alias. Controller.render and controller.putView. Alrighty. Boom. Not found. Whoa. Sick. Okay, cool. Awesome. That's good. So now it went through here and it rendered the 404 page. But we want to render a 401. And then we just say unauthorized. So let's see how that goes. Yeah, this works fantastic. Fuck. Oh, it does work. I don't know why it didn't work before, but it does work now. Great. Hooray. But now we need to make sure that it only works when the action is in join queue. And then we need to remove the comma. Now we can do this, but when I click join queue, it says unauthorized. Sweet. That's pretty good. Because you're not logged in, you filthy little bastard. Cool. All right, so instead of doing this, let's do... Let's actually create an error file already, so we can know where to put things in the future. Probably just do 401 at HTML. I don't think it needs any... Oh, maybe it needs some translation. Sure. Okay. Maybe later on we need some translation. Unauthorized. Oh, but if I do this, it doesn't render in the layout. Right? I set the layout as well. I don't know. Alright, what if I do this and then set its message from template? What do people do in those views? I really don't understand. Phoenix, okay, let's Google that. Let's actually get a better understanding of what those views are supposed to do. Views and templates. Rendering templates. Phoenix assumes a strong naming convention from controllers to views to rendering templates they render. Page controller requires page view and then a template in page directory. Cool. See, Phoenix view for more information. Yes. Defines the view layer. This module is used to define the application's main view, which serves as the base for all other views. Yes. Sure. Okay. So this is basically if you want to have more like helper functions available, if you want to have more shit from your app available, then this thing will do some shit for you. Use Phoenix View. Yes. Cool. All right. Yes. Render. Render show.json user. Oh. Oh. Would you look at that? Okay. So here I can call render again, huh? Let's try that. Module, render module template. Your user view. View to render your user view. Index.html. Okay, what have I... I don't know what those those magical view things, what do they normally do? Is what I'm wondering. Render layout. Plug, put layout. Okay. Still don't really know. Doesn't really help. So if you add title to the layout view, you can do... What exactly? Cool. Yes. Next, yes. All right. Yes. Cool. Manually rendering templates. Yes. Yes. Render to string. Render. Page view. Okay. We just overwrote the render function. What the fuck? Wait, what if I just remove this? What happens? Does it still work? Wait, let me go back and make sure that just this line is gone. Let's go to 3. It says unauthorized. But that is rendered from here. Sweet! I don't have to do anything. The area view just works. Wow, magic. Sick. That's because I set the view to be here. So this can actually be gone. Actually, not really. This needs to stay. Sweet. So we just do div here, and then we can later on add some extra cool styling to it. I also want to show you guys that, actually. So, in my community, there is people that are learning to design, and are getting better and better. They're studying to design. And, you know, I have studied design before. And then I became a programmer. And then I hated backend, and then I became a front-end developer. But now I love everything. So I was thinking to just collaborate with some people from my community. See if we can tackle this project together. See if we can help people like learn, develop their skill set even further. I can help them out with their design and how, because obviously I work a full-time job at a SaaS company, and we build all kinds of web apps, and like we work with designers closely, we work with PMs closely and whatever. And so these people that are still studying don't have that they don't know what's going on in the real world, right? Like if you're doing a design study, you're probably going to be working with some like a lot of marketing assets. You're going to be making a lot of logos and whatever. And if you've never done interface design, you know, I do that for a job, you know, like I'm front-end developer for my job, and I talk with designers and PMs and user experience like designers and UX researchers all the time. So I think it would be a cool learning experience for them to start working on this. So what I basically started, I thought I was going to do this all by myself, but I was thinking about actually making a design, but then I thought, you know, let's just ask other people to help out and see where we can make this go. Wait, I messed up. Yo, Holifk. Or is it Holy Fuck? It's probably Holy Fuck. Makes more sense. Thank you so much for the follow. So basically what I was doing, I was just creating a mood board to see basically what all the other people are doing in this space. Get her some insight on like this color schemes and get inspired in terms of color schemes of like what could be cool to use. In the end, we need to get a better understanding of like how people do fever games now and what are their pain points, and see what we can do there. But I think from the core, we have a general sense of where I want to take this project. And so I think it would be cool for people to jump in and help out and see if we can lift up the interface and help out the people. That's probably the most fun thing for me. Is like if we can together create something awesome and they can learn something from it and I can learn something from it. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be an awesome experience. So for now, I have a Discord. It's just discord.gg/justrocats. If you go there and you go into the bot channel and you say I am Viewer Games app, it's somewhere in the announcements too. You can basically follow progress on the project. If there's enough interest in the project, I might just create a separate Discord server all by itself and just share resources there and share help and cool ideas and whatnot. But for now, it just lives in the same Discord as for my entire community. So this is just gathering like inspiration, right? These are like awesome designers that have worked on some awesome projects, some of which are live, some of which are not. Doesn't matter. Just getting a sense of like, okay, what style do we want to go with and how can we make this like workable? In the end, the goal for oh, it's funny actually. This was the initial project. It's missing some resources, as you can see, some icon fonts and stuff. But this was the initial project actually. This is something we already had built. So it's basically you connect your Twitch account, and then you add your summoner name, and we would check if that summoner name existed. And then it shows you where you are in the queue. And then I think on my dashboard I could check and see who was next and then start a viewer game or something like that. But yeah, it was pretty interesting. That was basically based on just my normal website. So my normal website has like a bunch of apps here. But I think this can be its own standalone app. It doesn't have to live in my monolith that I have currently. Cool. Okay, so this is cool. So we have a plug created. It's like the requires player plug. If I could make this like this, that would be sweet. But I don't really know how to do that, so let's figure out how we can do that. Also, it would be cool if we could write some tests for this. Very straightforward. So here it's doing a lot of stuff. I don't know how it does that. What's up, New Duck? How's it going? I think I don't know. I was about to think like, oh my god, I'm gonna say something smart, but I really don't know. So they use and then an atom, and then I think it goes in here, and then it's like is an atom, and then it applies this module, and then the name of the method, and then it just calls whatever. So if I do this controller, this is like some macro that will call some things under the hood. I don't know if I should do that. It's a little, I don't know. I don't like this boilerplate, you know? I would like this. I like this. I like this. I like the underwater, like, not knowing what module it uses, but, you know, for now, this works. Going, how about you? I'm doing fine, fantastic. So now this is fine. Because now we know anybody that hits this route, there's always a current player. That is guaranteed. Which is good. I like that. Cool. Okay, so I still want to understand how you can do that. So for example, in the router, right? They use plug accepts. How does it find this plug? I think if you use an atom, it will just find like a method called accepts, and it calls it, and then because it imported this in this web file, like in the router, use router and import connection and controller. Probably on this Phoenix controller, there is somewhere a so I guess if I were to do import, let's check Phoenix controller. Let's take a look at what that looks like. Do we have the source, Phoenix controller, or Phoenix GitHub? Let us take a look a little deeper on what this controller is. And then let's take a look at accepts. In order for the example above to work, we need to cool, yep. Awesome, yep. Plugin accepts. Thought I saw something with accepts. Nope. Accepts. Yeah, so see, it's a method that takes a connection and then something. Or you can also use it as a plug because controller is imported. But I don't find this def. Oh, here. Do we want this? Do we want this? So because the Phoenix controller is imported, everything inside of controller now has access to those plugs or those atoms because they're marked as this. Now, that's cool, but I don't know. Is it cool? Is it cool? So what does the plug do then? Oh no, it doesn't matter because it's just a method. So if I were to define this method, hold up, let's go fucking rogue now. Let's just go fucking crazy. Okay, so if I go into here and I say dev requires player con sure, and then I just do exactly this, and then I do Phoenix controller instead of the rest, and then I do put status was for where does that come from? Con? Plug? Con? Oh no, it probably has it because it's imported. Hopefully. We'll see. Okay, so now this exists. So now if we inside of here do this instead, let's see if that works. Undefined function requires player. But it's right here. Price player 2. What are we passing? What else are we passing? Oh, I think this. That works. But it did it? Wait. It does work. Is it? What does this plug do again? Con default. Because of quarantine, I can finally watch streams again. How are you doing? I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. How are you doing? Let's not do it magical. Let's not do it magical. The reason why I don't want this to be magical is because if I keep this as verbose like this, maybe I can do this though. And then I can do this. Plugs? No, plug. Maybe I can do this though. Maybe this is okay. I kind of like that. That's a little cleaner. Yeah, that's cool. It's a little magical though. Maybe verbose is better. Is it better? If anybody were to look at this code, would they be like, oh yeah, I know where this is, because I can just fuzzy find it, right? So in the end, yeah. The thing is, the reason why I want to make this verbose is because if I were to use this, for example, for a certain route or a subset of routes that I know will require this, I can actually do this on router level instead of on controller level. So for example, I could say, okay, anything from the route here up, for example, like scope and then manage, for example, or something like that, like where you're starting to manage your settings or like your settings. I could say your games web do, and then I could say pipe through a browser, but also plug, like, I think, or pipe through a browser and then it's added in there. You know what I'm saying? I think that makes up for a little bit more, like, easier use later on. Busy but healthy. I think that's the most important right now. Good to hear. It's going good. It's good to hear, though. What are you busy with nowadays? I'm not a fan of this. I wish maybe there was a module for this, where you can just ask like auth.current user, current player. Would be cool. It should live in web though, because it's like kind of like web logic. I don't think the authentication should know about connection, but do I have something like that? I don't think our business logic in here relies on connection, because that's like super web stuff. Cool. This one does though. This one is like Twitch Uber auth. This one knows about connection. Like this is just there because it could live in a separate module. So maybe we need some module here. Or helpers? Do we have helpers? Maybe helpers. Like web helpers. I think that makes sense. And then we can put auth in there. And then we say dev module viewer games web dot helpers dot auth do dev current player on do comma, I think, if you do it on one line. And then we just do this. But this blows up if this thing doesn't exist. So we could make it safe and we could say map.get on assigns current player, and then otherwise it's going to be nil. Can we destructure this? Maybe. Con is a plug con, right? Struct. Assigns, yes. Okay, so we can say plug.con. Or do we need it? I think we need it here, like this. Can I destructure that from there? Can I say assigns? Oh no, it's a method. Or not. No, that's the type. Assigns. Functions. Assigns a value to a key in the connection. The assigned storage is meant to be used for store values in the connection so that other plugs in your plug pipeline can access them. The assigned storage is a map. Yes. Which it's also a method. Oh, this is this assign method. Okay, so it's a map. So we can destructure a map, I think. Pattern match. No, I know how to do that. Assigns. like this better. It is pattern matched. So basically this is safer than the other one. So that's cool. Gets the current player on the connection if it exists. Otherwise returns no. Cool, sweet, awesome. That's cool. So now we can do this. In our player controller, we say alias. And then we say, yo, auth, give me the current player. I like that. That is like way better. Or maybe it should be helpers auth. Because it's not the auth module, you know? Maybe that's more clear. Maybe this should be auth helper. Because then it's more clear that we're talking about a helper function here. Helper module. Because I assume that there could also be an auth module that is doing way more than this. This is like an auth helper. Not like that. Sweet. Let's see if it works. Cool. Awesome. Awesome sauce. Unauthorized. Cool, cool. Awesome. Sweet. That is nice. That is nicer. Can I write plug tests? Elixir. Plug.test. Sweet. Convenience for testing plugs. This module can be used in test cases like this. Cool. All right, let's try and writing one. Test Viewer Games Web plugs. Or is it called plugs or plug? Plugs. Sweet. Let's test the... It barely does anything, really. It barely does anything. School, work, and just launched my brand. Not the best timing, but we're going to let it work. What is your brand about? That's sweet, man. Requires player test dot exs. I don't know what the difference is really, but you know. Somebody knows, please tell me. Viewer Games Web. Plug. Okay. Anyways. Requires player test. Use this. Use plug test. All right. Cool. Sweet. Yes. Awesome. So what do we do now? Oh, we can even render this. Sweet. Testing in a functional language is so freaking nice because everything is functions. There's no state. So I can just call error view and it doesn't really do anything too crazy. It just tries to render this file. Pretty good. I like it. Just functions and input. Input, output. Nothing crazy. Con get this informs plug test send informs. I don't know what that does. How does this work? What do you mean? Validate header keys. By default, plug test checks for invalid header keys. Example header keys, which include uppercase and what the fuck? What is this for? Oh, it's tried to reach this Google plug test. Elixir. Testing plugs. Hey, this is my Thoughtbot are my boy. Require login. Oh my god, we built the same thing. Sick. Oh my god, we did the same thing. Sick. User redirect sign in. Alt. Yeah, we're doing the same thing. Cool, cool, cool. Here we go. Testing the plug. Oh, they're just using this. Cool. They have it under plugs. Maybe we should do that too, actually. Because now that I'm looking at it, it's like, let's do that later. We can do it in one go. Okay. Use this. Cool. Yep, we had that before. We removed it. All right, here we go. You'll need this view. Okay, let's see. Test. Is should show the unauthorized page when when not logged in. Stop writing this complicated words. And then we have another one. Should pass the user through. Should continue or should pass through when the user is there is a current player. Cool. That's like the specs, right? Cool. For now, a clothing brand, every individual that takes it to another level is its slogan. For every individual that takes it to another level. That's a very formal slogan, man. We had some cool plans with, for example, a DJ or a car enthusiast to make some cool videos, but social distancing. Oh yeah, I feel you. You ever look into Electron? I did, yes. I've worked with it, actually. Very verbose, like, not verbose, it's very heavy. Used a lot of memory. Not very cheap. So, okay, let's do con. And then we say... let's import our plug. Alias this. Cool. Requires player. Dot call. Cool. Boom. Con. Con equals con. Initialize it. Pass it through. And then we should say... What are we going to assert on? So now it pooped out the unauthorized page. Assert that the con status equals 401. Let's IO inspect con. Who is con? What does he do? 401. Yeah, that's what I was planning on doing. Look at that. Current player is a player. Would you look at that? Let's try it. Mix test. Oh, a lot of weird, like, deprecation shit. Unused helper, change set. Probably forgot about it. Need to go. Going to try and catch some streams of you. Have a nice stream. Yo, catch you later, Peef. Thank you so much for stopping by. Con 0 to build. Connection is deprecated. Build con instead. Cool. Sure. Yep. Build con. Sweet. Cool. Awesome. Okay, so let us see. Status 401. Response body unauthorized. Isn't this all I wanted to do? Don't really need to check for if the right view is loaded. I'm just like, if it is 401. Well, it does say unauthorized page. You can check if the response contains unauthorized, but I don't know if that's gonna change in the future. Probably. Okay, I think this is for now good enough though. It tests something. Tests that the plug works. It doesn't test that we're using it, but that's okay. Okay, there was a bunch of other errors when I started compiling. Which is like some warnings. Can I see those warnings again? Elixir C warnings. Mix compile force. Wait. Sweet. Oh, great. Oh, I'm missing the dashes. Okay, here we go. Wow. Okay, I don't understand default arguments. Oh, yeah, this one. Yeah, they're never used. Is this new? No. You would think that the formatter would actually remove those. If you're like, oh, this argument is not used at all, let me just replace it with an underscore. But it doesn't do that. Okay, cool. We can fix that. But this is looking sweet. Maybe we can also write tests for the other one, but let's just do that in another PR. Awesome. Let's evaluate the code real quick. So this auth is just extra, so let's do that in a separate commit. This part is separate as well. This part. This is the actual thing. That's sweet. Unauthorized error view. We don't need to make that change. Don't care. Cool. This is on master. Let's not do that. What was the Trello? Oh yeah. Adds controller unauthorized check. We did that in an hour. That is quite a lot of time for a simple task, but you know, we learned a lot. And there's always a lot of explanation that I do, so it's kind of a problem. All right, add requires player plug. Let's get rid of this because I don't think that's necessary. Yeah, let's add a helper. Let's also write a test for that. Helpers. That should be a very straightforward test. I need plugs though, or I need cons. So let's copy paste this. There is controller in this file, so maybe we should rename this to be auth helper. Auth helper test. This is helpers. This is auth helper test. We have con. We have the helper. Helpers. And an auth helper. So what should this do? Should return a player when it is logged in, or should return the player when it is logged in. Should return nil when the player is logged out. This is exactly the other way around. Okay, so if the connection has a current player assigned, and then we assert that, let's have a player here. Player equals this. We pass the player to this. And then we say player equals auth helper dot current player on the connection should be exactly the same as the player that we just created. Otherwise, it's gonna be nil. If we do this. Oh, sweet. Run a test. Auth test. Syntax before equals. Oh, what the fuck happened here? That was weird. Player struct is undefined. Oh yeah, we don't have a player. We copied from this file, but we actually removed the alias. Sweet, cool, awesome. Wrote some tests. Cool, awesome. Simple stuff. Cool. And the sweet thing is that if later on we decided to remove the underlying implementation of current player, we can change that. So maybe we can have an auth helper that can set a current player on a connection. But for now, let's keep this. And then the underlying implementation can change, but because our this can just be changed in one place, and we don't have like stuff like this everywhere, which is sweet. I like it. Cool. Okay. Add auth helper current player to move away from hitting deep inside of the on.assigns map. Cool. Now I think we should rename the plug. So here. Let's get this. Everywhere where we have this, I want to rename this to be plugs. Because to me, that makes a little bit more sense. So plugs, 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 plugs. Yep, I like it. Just because I saw that in this article as well. Yeah, so this is what I was talking about. So if I ever need to do this on route level, I can do it, but I can also do it on controller level, which is pretty sweet. Cool. Okay. I think that sums up the task that we need to do. Get rid of this. Publish. Oh, we should have mixed linted. Mixed format. Did anything change? Yes, it did. I need to really add a pre-commit hook or something like that to make sure that this runs. CI is gonna fail. Alrighty, let's create a PR. Instead of having code everywhere, check whether the user is authenticated. Let's check this on plug level, and we can plug this in on controller or even route level. Usage. Let's help our future self so we don't forget about it. We can use it like this. Controllers, player, like this. Or like just this. Oh, I thought I made this super explicit. Like, in the end, I kept this helper. Okay. Did we do comments with this? No, we did comments with the hashtags. When you want to use the plug for the entire controller, when you want to use the plug for just a couple of actions. Cool, sweet, awesome. Let's also add the router level one. Where is my PR here? Controller usage, router usage, ex, just draw cats. Oh no, it's not just viewer games. Web. Yes. Should I make it not plural as well? Requires player or require player? Sweet. Create pull request. Cool, cool. All right. Let's create a screenshot as well, because I like doing that. Oh, we need to recompile because we changed the config file. Let's go here in a new tab. Join queue. It says unauthorized. Super ugly, but it doesn't matter because we haven't done any front-end work yet. I think that's when the people get really excited, because that's when you start to really see shit. Like right now, it's just like lower level stuff, making sure that the data structures are all correct. But I think the real cool stuff comes when we actually start like adding the designs and making things come together. All right. Gets the current player on the connection if it exists, otherwise nil. Rename a bunch of stuff. Render 401. I think eventually we'll probably redirect to like a login or something, or have some sort of login. But then again, it's like authenticate with your apps. So I don't know where that's gonna live yet, but we'll see. At least the connection status should be 401. Even if you're redirected. Is that possible? Cool, this looks fine. This looks fine to me. Very simple code, actually. But bombarded with tests, which is awesome. Which is great. That is what you want to see. Let's merge. Tasks passed. All awesome. Cool. On to the next task. Ready for deploy. Split the broadcaster and player context. Oh boy. Yeah. I haven't really thought about that yet. What's up, Alexi? How's it going? I haven't really thought about that yet. What we also need to do is we need to think how the user is going to interact with this VR game. So like from a broadcaster perspective, how that's going to work. So eventually we'll need, if you log in, you need to be able to create a viewer game. And then that viewer game is, I think that's where I'm gonna go with. Instead of having a profile that you can go to, the broadcaster can create viewer games, and then the viewer game has a queue, and then the viewer game has matches. And so the viewer game that you're creating, so we're let me show you guys the actual like idea that I had before, but I think we need to slightly alter that. So my initial idea was that you have players, every player has a queue, or every broadcaster has a queue. A player joins the queue through the queue player join table. So a player can join a queue. Then the broadcaster makes a viewer game, which in theory is just a match. So the broadcaster creates a match. He will pick people from that queue. So they're removed from the queue and added to the match. Or in this case, it was called viewer game. So that was the concept of viewer game. But I think from a broadcaster perspective, the viewer game is... It is in theory just a match. But I don't know what the name is of the overarching thing. Is it like a viewer game session or a viewer game stream or like something like that? So basically, I think what the workflow is, right? Like broadcaster decides to do a viewer game. Viewer game stream or something like that, right? He picks a game, he or she, broadcaster, picks a game. League of Legends, CSGO, whatever. Then he is gonna, announce to the stream that it is Viewer Games Day. They most of the times have a bot or manual list of who would like to join. They add themselves to the list. Broadcaster picks the people and asks them what their in-game name is. Then there is if the viewer is in the stream still, they will respond with their in-game name. But if no viewer viewer will respond with their in-game name. If there's no viewer, broadcaster removes the player from the list and picks the next person. So, with the in-game name, broadcaster invites the player and broadcaster removes the player from the list. That is pretty much the workflow that I know of that people use in order to do viewer games. And so but then when the broadcaster switches games and they might want to do viewer games there, I don't know what they do with the existing list. So I think what they just do is they clear the entire list and then they just go. They just start a new viewer game and then, or they announce that they're going to do viewer game stream, that they're going to be doing viewer games with CSGO. They fill up the queue again, they start inviting people, and then they go, right? So this overarching concept of deciding to do a viewer game is the concept that is that I don't have a name for yet. So the viewer game is the actual match because the broadcaster is doing viewer games. But I don't have a name yet for the overarching idea of saying I am now gonna do viewer games for League of Legends. So I'm gonna create a queue and I'm gonna invite people for that. Do you have one queue for each viewer game session? That's what I'm thinking. So right now, that is not in the concept. So right now I have one queue per broadcaster. So Mormon, to basically mimic what they're doing now. But I think that's a very inefficient way of doing it but maybe I could just keep it that way. Maybe I just have to keep it that way because if we're mimicking whatever they're doing now, we can always continue building on top and making it better. So what they're doing now is they just announce it, they have a queue, they open up the queue, and then they start telling people, and then they clear the list. So as long as we have one queue per streamer, and then we can give them the ability to clear the list, we're basically mimicking what is already out there. Decide to do viewer games. Viewer game session, each match played, viewer game match, and then run some business rules, winner stays, etc. Well, that logic is not there. So I don't. But we're thinking about like what are the things we want to get out of this. What are the benefits of using our system versus whatever this is? We want to eliminate. For the viewer, we want to eliminate this and this. And this. All this, basically. So if a player has their game accounts connected, the broadcaster can see, which person to invite, and then we can use the viewer list to figure out if that viewer is still there. They would still might need to check, but they can at least invite the person and see if he accepts. If the bot knows the Steam, Riot, Blizzard IDs of the players. Yeah, so basically, a player will have game account connections. So you connect your Riot account, it will, you will have your username there, and then you join a viewer game with your account connected. And the cool thing is, for the viewer, the benefit is, so this is for the broadcaster, right? It's easier to figure out if somebody is a legitimate user and he owns the account. So, if you're a big broadcaster, you don't want to waste any time. So if the viewers can do all the heavy lifting, then that's great. For like bigger streamers, that's great. For smaller streamers, I'm still trying to figure out if we should make an option to not have an account and still join the viewer game to make it faster, because for smaller streamers, it's more important to have the people actually join versus bigger streamers where you kind of want to know that they're legit, or you kind of want to make sure that they're subbed or something like that. So on top of that, the system will know about who is subbed and who isn't, and you can set specific rules for your viewer games, but that is not in scope yet. Then for the viewer, what the cool thing is that since we know what viewer game matches you've played, you will actually have the ability to check out all the previous matches you've played, and if we integrate the games fully throughout, we can actually assign an actual match history of the game you've played, and check whether you've won or some statistics, and we can pull that from the game's APIs. But in the end, I think that is a very big maintenance burden that I don't want to get into too much, because that would mean we need to keep up with all of the games and everything. So for now, just insights alone and seeing like this person, all the viewer games I've played in the past and which streamers I've been to, and you could look back and like, oh my god, look the amount of wins I've got with this streamer, or like the amount of games I've played with this person. Who is the target of the MVP? Small or big streamers? I don't differentiate with that yet. Not sure. Not entirely sure yet. Not entirely sure yet. Is your new startup? Count me in. It's my new side project. It's my new side project. But I think there is some big value that we can pull out that people are not leveraging yet. So like the thing is, there's a lot of parts of streaming that people have been leveraging quite a bit already, like donations and charity streams and 24-hour streams, and there's been tools created for that. One of the things that no one has really jumped on is viewer games. People do it. People leverage, like, have tools for it already, but nobody has really focused on like trying to get the best interaction out of it, or like the best experience with viewer games, because I think it can be both fun for the broadcaster and for the player, and it can actually be a super engaging experience where you finally get to play with your favorite broadcaster. So I think just based on owning that part of the workflow can already, like, I don't know, be a better experience, or like an enhanced experience, something that can help the streamers grow and help their viewers be happy. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. So Alexi said, for the best experience, you may want to integrate some of your tech natively into games to manage invites. That's what I was thinking, and I was laying in bed last night, and I was thinking, what if we just generate random Riot Games accounts, so League of Legends accounts, to then create the custom game for you, start inviting the streamer, start inviting all the people, and then change the host from that invite person bot thing to then the streamer, so he doesn't even have to fucking care about that shit. But then that doesn't scale very well in terms of having a ton of accounts, having to wait for people to accept invites, and like if a streamer opens up a custom game, how long am I gonna wait before the streamer joins, and when does, because you can only create one custom game per account in theory at the same time, because you can only be in one game at a time. So I've been thinking about all these things to make up and take away the burden for the streamer. But I think what the most important thing is also remove the burden for the player, because the burden, or like the sign up flow that they have right now is very low. It's like very low effort. It's like have a bot or a menu list you would like to join. You just say join, ! join. Like, it's that simple. And so if we cannot match that, I think we'll have a hard time getting there. So there's a couple of touch points in which we have to somehow integrate. I think it is needed for us to have a bot, like a Twitch bot that you can use, and then it does something. But yeah, not entirely sure. Have you seen the queue apps for Animal Crossing? Sounds a little like what you're making. I haven't seen that yet. Turnip Exchange. Turnip Exchange has become a massive hit. Oh shit. It's growing too fast. Create a queue for your island that will automatically share your dodo code with the right visitors. Type in the host turnip code to see their queue. From here you can learn about their island and join their queue. Oh, interesting. Wow, that's actually super interesting. It's literally the same concept. Very simple idea too. I like it. That's the thing with this idea too. It's like it's pretty simple. Like, if you look at the data structures, there's not much to it. It's just a glorified queue. It's just like you join the queue, you leave the queue. And then the matches are just basically for history's sake and for like ease of use. So if you say like, I want to start a match, we already know that you're playing League of Legends, so we fill in the player limit to be 9, but if you want to change it, like if you want to do 1v1s, you just say the player limit is 1 and we pull out 1 from the queue. It's like these are minor things that we can do to help. But yeah, it's just like we know games. We have players and we have queues, and that's pretty much what we have. The rest is just settings and customizations and integrations. And we can make it as like difficult as we can. But for now, we just keep it simple. Then I think when we have the MVP done, I think the focus is not even going to be on expanding. It's just going to be on exposing an API. And then just see what the rest is going to build. Maybe people are going to be building like Discord plugins or something like that. Let's see how that goes. Sup, Cat? Hello, sir. I've come to lurk in your stream. Hoping it helps me to climb platinum in TFT. Yo, good luck, Cat. But yeah, for now, this is the idea. So if I look at a player and a broadcaster, they're pretty much the same in terms of entity, because a player can be a broadcaster, because when they sign up, they're just a player. In terms of context and in which they operate, they are completely different, because a player has way different focus and things they want out of the app than what the broadcasters want out of the app. So I know that we need to split up these contexts. the player and the broadcaster context, because there's going to be stuff in the broadcaster context related to creating those sessions. There's going to be context related to the preferences. But then again, you can do that on session basis as well. So I think we need some sort of overarching thing. Like we can say a queue per broadcaster, but you still need to tell the broadcaster when it's opened or when it's closed. So they will even need to have some preferences, or we just have a higher concept and we can expand it later on. Like in theory, if we make an abstraction over this, we can say a broadcaster can have one session all the time. And then when the requirements change, we can say, okay, a player can now have multiple sessions, meaning that you can have one League of Legends session and a CSGO session, and then, yeah, I don't know. The queue stays open and until you, I don't know. Maybe you can close the session, or I don't know. Maybe you can keep it open. Maybe when you create a new session, the other one closes. I honestly don't know. That's like why we need to gain more knowledge on like how people want to use it. But if we add a viewer game session over this, I don't like the name though, but then at least we're scalable in terms of, or we're at least flexible in terms of how we want to approach it. Because we can say for now, you're going to have one session all the time, which contains, and a session contains a queue. So a broadcaster or a player doesn't have a queue. A session has a queue. Meaning that every broadcaster will in the end still have one session or one queue. But at least we have the ability to expand. Hence also why the queue knows about which player, but the player doesn't know about which queue he has. Because we want to make this future-proof. Alright, let's go back to what we need to do. So for this one, we need to do some research. Like, I don't know yet. I need to do some research in terms of context splitting and the best practices there. For now, everything lives in the player context, and that's okay for now. These two are ready for pickup. Oh, this is based on design. Really don't care about this though, because it also depends on design. Okay, what we can do is we can start a viewer game without the session for now. So let's start with that. I gotta eat food soon though, and I have ingredients for a dish that takes a little bit of time. So let's continue for like until 7, and then I need to start cooking. I'm already pretty hungry. Okay, so let's add viewer games, because viewer games are on its own, pretty standalone. The only question I have is whether we want to call this matches or viewer games. So from a broadcaster perspective, you are doing a viewer game. So I think that makes the most sense to keep that naming as well. Yeah, I think that makes the most sense. Does it make most sense? So I think this should be its own context, like the match context or something, or not. Because in theory, this is pretty standalone stuff. The viewer game player table gets filled up based on the queue players. So we take out a bunch of queue players and we fill them up inside add to this viewer game. But let's see how that goes. Did we save this somewhere? I had a GitHub issue. Notes. This is the broadcaster workflow. Fuck. Yikes. All right. That doesn't work. Try this. That's better. Viewer uses join in the chat. Let's do this. Viewer adds themselves to the list. Okay, cool. Awesome. Let's work on viewer games. So let's generate some mix Phoenix gen. Context? Yes. Okay, so in this case, we're going to be working inside of the viewer games context. God, we need an app name. The code is getting messy because the concept that we're working with is called viewer games. The app is called viewer games. But that makes it very hard because the modules are also going to be called viewer games because that's the context we're living in. So we're going to have a viewer game and the table is going to be viewer games. And let's see, what does a viewer game have? A viewer game has a player ID, which is the creator of the viewer game, which references players. I think that's how that works. References. And schema. References. User ID references users. Player ID references players. Cool. Next up, we have game ID. References. Do we have games generated already? Games. Nope. God, it's so hard to think about what context to create. It's insane. Alright, viewer game does not belong to a game yet because the table doesn't exist. Viewer game has a slug. That's not true. Or is it? Not sure. We're keeping that out for now as well. Player limit. Small int. Is that possible? Int. Want to make it a small int because it doesn't need to take up that much memory. Because you're not going to create like normal integer. How big is a normal integer? Like Postgres integer size. Normal integer is 4 bytes. So this is 2 billion. Yeah. A million. I think 2 billion. Well, nobody's gonna start a viewer game with 2 billion players. So I don't know if we can change that. Anyways, doesn't matter. That's just stuff. Cool. Okay, that's a viewer game. Cool. Sweet. Could not generate context viewer game because it's the same as the application. Oh no. That's what I thought. Match. Alright, match this context it is. Well, then I would just call it a match. Oh well. We need to get rid of that application name. It's horrible. Cool. Okay, so let's take a look at the generated migration. So this needs to be a unique index. Because a viewer game should only, a player should only be able to join a viewer game once. Should never be able to join the viewer game twice. Oh no, that's not true. No, a viewer, like this is the owner of the viewer game. So there can be, yeah, there needs to be no unique index, but it should be a normal index because we should be able to find the current user, the current broadcaster's viewer games. Like we should be able to find those. Cool. Yeah, this is good enough. Sweet. And then let's go to the player, and the player has many viewer games. Viewer game. Matches viewer game. Cool. Sweet. That is good. And then we can list all the viewer games, sure. Cool. Okay, so now we need a UI to create a viewer game. So the user is logged in. And for now, we can just have a huge button that says create viewer game. Sure. Player has many viewer games. Yes. But a player also belongs to a lot of viewer games through the viewer game player thing. But let's not go there yet. Let's start with the concept of viewer games. Add viewer games. It already generated some stuff. Cool. All right. All right, let's generate the route. Well, let's create the route. So here is gonna be the thing. So I want to always work in the context of a streamer. So in this case, the player ID. So maybe we can do a scope, but I don't know if we can do dynamic scopes. Phoenix dynamic scope. Very common to have a namespace, yes. Because what I kind of want is this. Let's see if this works actually. And then scope can just be the path. Path 2. Okay. Let's see if this works. If we move everything inside here, then we just say slash. So if we go to slash, it is the player controller show. If we go to queues, join, we go there. And then from here we can say resources. Let's hope this works. That'll be sick. Viewer games. And then the controller for that. Viewer games. I want to move this. So let's move there already. Player, viewer game, players, viewer games controller. So this needs That's not true. This is not correct. Whatever we're building now, this is not it yet. Let's still see if this works though, because I like this better. This is why we need a concept of a broadcaster. Broadcaster viewer game controller. Let's remove that broadcaster prefix. All right, so this is from a broadcaster perspective. He needs to be logged in. So let's require a player. And then we will have an index route that will index, which will take the player ID. Oh, we need to fucking move away from that, man. We need a slug. ASAP. Oh boy. All right, let's add that to the list. More and more routes are requiring this nasty player. Move away from player ID to player slug. This needs to be picked up. What are we working on now? Add viewer games. And ability to join viewer games. That's what we're doing now. Okay, so we get a player. No, we get the broadcasters. So we're actually starting to split off a little bit already. Not like that. Broadcasters.ex. Which is literally just gonna fetch a player. But it is in the context of a broadcaster. What, Nigel? Get broadcaster. Let's think. No, this is not correct, actually. We don't even have this. Wait, so what is a... I can't remember what you generate. Like, what does a normal index route look like? Let's go through the Phoenix getting started. We skipped all the index routes, so I'm a little lost. Actually, we have a pages index, though. Pages controller. Yeah, params. We don't use params, that's why. Render index. And then we have... The current player is already there, but we need the matches viewer games. So what we'll need is the viewer games. And what we'll also need is the current player. Yeah, so what we'll need to do is we'll need to do broadcaster dot get. Is this... No, that's not the concept of a broadcast. This is like the matches. Get viewer games for broadcaster. God, we're just mixing and matching the concept of broadcasters and players, and I just hate it. Because we're saying we're fetching the current player of the connection, but actually he is a broadcaster. So maybe we should keep this player. But if we ask this from a broadcaster perspective, we're gonna see all the hosted matches. And then when you do this in a player perspective, we're gonna see all the games he played. So maybe this should be like a broadcaster dot naming is hard, man. Naming is hard. Naming is so hard. Okay. So we're gonna use the matches here to fetch us a... Get viewer games. Def list viewer games by... So this is our lower level module, which is gonna be get ourselves a viewer game by player ID. Repo all via game where repo all where. How do I do? What are the options for the all? Where is my all? This sounds like Sims music, to be honest. All. Options. What are options? Prefix. Shit. Alright, so repo all takes a query, but the viewer game is a query already. Repo all where? Ecto. Must be an example of this, right? Yeah, I'm not writing a query like this, guys. Come on. Just give me something simpler. But do I need to do this? You can't tell me that this is the only way. Oh, okay. There you go. We can do either this. And then, where player ID is player ID. That is pretty ugly. So let's do this on multiple lines. And now everything makes a lot more sense. Because watch me go. That just looks beautiful. Cool. So we're gonna be using the matches here. And then the method called list viewer games by player ID, and then we do player.id. Which is just a proxy, I would say, to make sure that the broadcaster can know about viewer games. But then again, the matches are pretty much owned by the broadcasters. But you can also access them from players. Which is why this fucking app is so difficult. Get all viewer games created by the broadcaster. Why is auth in here? Alright, let's see if this is the correct abstraction. Cool. So scope is gonna be viewer games. So how does Twitch do it? How does Twitch do it? Sure. No. If I were to go to... Yeah, so everything is scoped to a user. So if I go to subscriptions, inventory, payment, settings, it's all as if you were logged into the user. So what if I'm not logged into Twitch and I go to settings? Oops, that's a typo. But the user exists. Yeah, so you're unauthorized, so you need to log in. Okay. Building house music? Wait, are you? Okay, cool. So we can do the same. This is just your viewer games. And then this is the public one. So I want to always match this first. But I want to scope this to be like scope slash. But when the scope doesn't match, it will go here, right? Oh, like when you're building houses. Oh, yeah. Oh, true, yeah. The thing is, I want to basically say that we're always authenticated when we hit these routes, but this scope is so broad that I'm scared that it's gonna match, and then I don't know how it handles with, oh, I do not match with any of the nested routes inside here, so I'm going to the next scope that is the same. I don't know if that works, because this is like our public endpoint, and then this is our player ID. It says this is flexible. We should first match for any scopes that we know about. So for example, inside here, I can have a scope that is called viewer games. But inside here, I want to make sure that we pipe this through a browser, but also pipe this through the plug that we created, which is going to make sure that we always have a player. So if in here we say resources, or we just say resources viewer games. Viewer games, and then viewer. But we can scope this to be viewer games web dot. Wait, I can scope this properly. Phoenix scope. Because I know that everything inside here is going to be living inside the broadcaster realm. That's what I want, basically. Everything that you manage is in the broadcaster realm. Ba-dum-bum-bum. I don't know if it works though with like multiple of the same slashes, but I think it does. V1. Yeah, like some V1 something. Yeah, scope V1 as V1. V1. Scopes can also be arbitrarily nested, but you should do this carefully as nesting can sometimes make our code confusing and less clear. With that being said, suppose that we had a version API with resources defined for images, reviews, and users, when technically we could set up routes for the version API like this. You can run into what the definitions are. Interesting, we can use multiple scopes with the same pass as long as we're careful not to duplicate routes. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah, so that's what we need. Oh, viewer game controller. Bum ba-dum bum ba-dum ba-dum bum bum. Wonder if this works. Let's see. If I go to viewer games. What? 28. Event variable player ID inquiry. Matches player. If I go here and I'm not logged in, what do I get? Oh, it's not. Compile error. Matches.ex. Matches. Player ID do unbound variable player ID inquiry. Oh wait, we haven't run our migration yet. Oh. What? You're attempting to interpolate a value used var. No. Wait. Cool. Okay, that was not the error. Cool. If it exists though. Viewer games, yes. Player limit, player ID. Cool. Okay, why is this erroring? Unbound variable player ID inquiry. But that is right here though. Ecto query where? Where's the where function? Where? Oh. Ecto also supports the pipe operator syntax. Can I see the where function? Where? Where this or this? Where country equals Sweden. Yeah, that's what I tried. It's so weird. Player ID. Eurogame. Player ID. Belongs to. Player. Belongs to. Oh, this is not belongs to. We also need this though, but still, that wouldn't make a difference, would it? No, because it's just a queryable field, so I'm very confused. Unbound variable core player ID in context. Oh, it's because it's a parameter, huh? Because it's like we don't know what type, so it's trying to guard me against it. Maybe it's not it. It is also possible to interpolate the whole keyword list, allowing you to dynamically filter on the source. Jeez, that's scary. We can do... I don't know. I don't know what that means. Unbound variable inquiry. I don't know what that means. Well, I found source code. And I jumped to the actual thing. Same. I actually don't know why this is not working. Because this viewer game is a schema. Schema list all where. Ecto. From our preload user blah, blah, blah. Can't be like this difficult, right? Where P ID in 1 2. Let's try it. So, game, viewer game dot. Not a fan. See if that works though. Oh. Unbound variable player ID in query. If you're attempting to interpolate a value, use var. No. What do you mean? What does interpolating a value mean? Oh, maybe it is. So maybe I can just do this. Field association is already on the player. Yes, we need to get rid of that. Okay, cool. So now it just complains about the fact that we don't have a view for this, which is fine. Labas. This language is Elixir. Broadcaster. Viewer a game. View. Such a weird concept. Broadcaster. Viewer game view. And then we need template. Broadcaster. Index.html.ex. Hello world. Viewer games. Cannot render index HTML. Please define a matching broadcaster viewer game. Oops. Cool. Awesome. We're getting there. So now we need to loop over. We need to loop over the viewer games. H1 viewer games created by you. Viewer game. This is viewer games. Every viewer game, and then the ID. Viewer game. None. Sick. That makes a lot of sense. But we're gonna also add a button to create one. So this is just gonna be your ordinary CRUD. So I don't know why I'm just not generating this. Let's do that, actually. Phoenix. Generate HTML. Web. Oh, then it generates an entire new web. Okay, that's not what we want. Can I skip some shit when I do this? Fuck, I should have just run this. A resource may be split over distinct contexts. How can I skip? Let me see. I want to skip the schemas because I already generated them and changed them. That's channels. Whatever. We're just gonna do it by hand. Wait, I can generate something random and then just copy paste. That's what I can do. The thing is, I don't really care about how it looks, so that's why the generate HTML is kind of sweet. Let's just do this. Cool. Yes, copy paste. Copy the pasta. Video game controller. Add this here. And then we can grab the title. Boom. And then we can get rid of this. And then we comment out all of these. Like this. And then get rid of the user controller. Later. Get rid of accounts. Later. Get rid of this accounts. Later. But here in views, we don't care about the user view. Bye bye. But this we do care about. I'm just gonna copy everything over. Yes, replace. That was the slowest way I could have possibly done that, but it works. Cool, okay. Listing users. It's gonna be your created viewer games. Your hosted viewer games. Sick. So it's gonna be an ID. And then what else? What other field do we have? I think we have a player limit. Player limit. That's pretty much what we have. Created at. Updated at. For viewer game in viewer games. Viewer game dot ID and then player limit. And then we have another TD and then it's going to be created at. Updated at, or inserted at, actually. I think that's what they use it here. Inserted at, cool. Connection user path, that's not true, so let's get rid of this. Doesn't work that well. His works though. Can't remember how this works actually. I think it's like this. Cool. Okay, new user. Yes, we need new viewer game. And then we don't know the path yet, so let's comment this out as well. Sweet. Cool. Awesome. I don't know why the indenting is so terrible. Anyhow, cool. We have an index page. Let's see if it works. Undefined concept user. Where? Oh no, because... okay, cool. Get rid of them. Because it's still HTML, that's why. Alright, cool, awesome. We have a table. Now let's do mix Phoenix routes. Viewer game path. I want to alias this though. As broadcaster. So now it's gonna be called broadcaster. Oh. Broadcaster video games path. Sweet. So now we go back into the view and we open this back up and we're like, yo, hey guys, what is going on here? And then it blows up because the viewer game path is undefined. Why is that? I don't know. Broadcaster viewer game path. It says it right here. I don't know. That is interesting. I thought I was doing everything right, but then I guess not. Mix Phoenix routes. Broadcaster viewer game path. Yeah, you would think that, huh? User path. Broadcaster viewer game path. Alright. Guess that doesn't work. Okay. All right. Attempted function clauses. Broadcast viewer game path. New. That's what we have right here. What do you mean? What the fuck? Interesting. Oh, but maybe it's because this. Nope. Doesn't matter. New viewer game 2 routes broadcaster viewer game path. Viewer game path. Yeah, new here. Viewer game path. What the fuck? What the fuck? Wait, let me try this. Routes. IO inspect. Routes. Con. And then new. What do we get? In the video games controller. Cool. Okay, sweet. Yeah, awesome. Cool. Sure. IO inspect routes. What are you having? Yeah, okay, that's helpful. Cool. Very, very helpful. Cool, yeah. Elixir find methods. What's up, Stellar Waterbird? How's it going? PogChamp. Wait, what was that? What was that? Exports. Okay, IXS mix. And then we do this one. Eurogames web dot router dot helpers export. Nope, doesn't work. Module.info. What the fuck is that? I have no idea what I'm just reading. Oh, okay. Unlucky. exports? Is that it? Is it exports? Oh, there we go. Sweet. Broadcaster viewer game path. Well, you know, that's what I thought. And then when you try to use it, new. Then when you try this, it says it doesn't work. Undefined or private routes helper Phoenix. Do I need this? No, I had that. Maybe it needs to be a string. What the fuck? Why? What is the difference? Oh my god. Okay, that's fine. That's okay. It's okay. What the fuck? That's okay. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. That is fine. I feel like I've made that mistake before. I feel like I've been there and I've done that. Same fucking output on the routes thing. Okay, that's whatever. It works. It works, it works, it works. That's what we care about. Okay, next up, we need to create a... So we're gonna be doing a broadcast, no, matches dot... create viewer game. It's always those kinds of things. Yeah. Viewer game. Cool. Create viewer game. A broadcaster creates viewer games. So then I think the broadcaster should be making the viewer games. Broadcasters. Wait, what was it before? Change user. Okay. Ew. 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 I don't know. Ew. If that's the convention, I'm following the convention, but I'm a little bit weirded out. A little bit weirded out, but sure. I'll change it. I'll take it. I'll take it. I'm okay with this. Okay, create. We don't care about yet. Click on new and it blows up because it says user path. That makes a lot of sense. We also need to update the index still. No, we don't. Oh, we do. We need to get rid of this. We need to get rid of this. And then we go, yep. And then we slide into here. And then we say user. No, that's viewer game. And then we say viewer game here. And then we say viewer game. Could have done that way easier. And then we go back here. And then it's like, wow, sick. And we click on new and it breaks because we need to go to new. And then we say user path. Nope, that's not true. We say broadcast viewer game, blah, 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 path. And then this one too. Boom, 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 boom. And then it goes to the form. Sweet. Now the form is not correct. So we need to say player limit. That's the only thing you can change. I'm sorry. Is there a number input? Player limit. Player limit. That's it. Oh, number input. Look at that. Could have just copy pasted that. Cool. Submit. Create new viewer game. Awesome. What's up, Justin? You put player bumble. Oh. That's right. Thanks, guys. Alright, player limit 9. Save. Boom, create is not defined. Awesome. Yeah, let's go to the next. Viewer game. Viewer game params. Yeah, cool. And then we do broadcaster. Create viewer game for broadcaster. And then you say, we get the broadcaster here. Loop. And then we say, yo, current player, and then the path. And then the params. Cool, sweet, awesome. Very long name. Very long name. But that's just how it goes. And then we get back a viewer game. And then we go to the fucking weird ass path that we fucking decided on here. Here, and then we take the viewer game. And then cool. That's pretty cool. And then otherwise error, and then we go back to new with the chain set. Sweet. Yeah, cool. So in here we say matches get viewer game. Oh, this is so fucking weird. I guess the match... We need to like have something scoped to a broadcaster. Because we'll always need to find it for a broadcaster. And I don't know why the broadcaster needs to know about the viewer games, right? Or how to create viewer games. This should be like matches stuff. But then here we're getting the viewer games. Yeah, so maybe they shouldn't live in broadcaster, I guess. God, I hate programming. Why is naming things so fucking difficult? Because this is not a broadcaster yet, this is a player, but then it's a broadcaster because that's okay. We'll get there. We'll get there. We'll get there. We'll get there. It's fine. Get viewer game by ID. But I also always want to scope this to a broadcaster. Because I don't want other people to find like, I always want to scope every query to a broadcaster because you should never be able to view other people's viewer games or manage them, you know? now it's matches again, and here it's broadcasters. Yeah, I don't fucking know, man. It's like, why? Why you gotta stop? Why you gotta do this? All right, I really need to start cooking, but I'm almost done. So, you know, I don't care about edit. I do care about edit. Do I care about edit? I do. Matches. Get viewer game for broadcaster. Matches. Change viewer game. Sick. Why do we need to? Okay. Sure. We have to change them, right? Why do we need to? What? Update ID user. Yes. Cool. We always have this everywhere. Ba-da-ba-bum-ba-dum. Update viewer game. Matches. Update viewer game for broadcaster. Yes. Do you need food? Yes, I do. I really do. Oh, let the linter figure it out. Viewer game. Delete. Almost there. Get user. No, not get user. Get this. Get this fucking thing. Delete viewer game. For broadcaster. And why do we do it per broadcaster? Because you should never be able to delete other people's viewer games. Because that would be messy, huh? Viewer game deleted. Viewer game. Should never, ever, ever should you be able to delete or view or edit or whatever other people's stuff. Don't do that. Don't do that. Okay, I think we're ready. We're not ready. 36. Current player. 51. Current player. 66. Current player. I copy pasted. And here too. Current player. Cool. Okay, new. 5. Save. It blows up. Create viewer game for broadcasters undefined. That makes sense. Cool. Alright, awesome. Matches. Create viewer game. By player ID. Okay, viewer game, yes. What did we do with the other one? What did we do with the other one? Players. No, here. Find or create a player. I guess we could do the same. Create viewer game by player ID. Yep. Do we have change set here? No. Put change. Do I have access to that here? Put change. Player ID. Player ID. Viewer game. I don't know how this works. Because on your schema, you kind of want to say you can set the player limit, but that's it. You cannot send the player ID. On the change set. Oh, here, yeah. How do I then set the player ID anyways? Oh, so the attributes are passed through this cast, so I cannot explicitly set a player ID, but I can still put changes on the change set. Yes, that's good. Das ist gut, ja. But this put change probably doesn't exist because I don't have access to the change log, so I will need to change set. Cool. Okay, so we always set the player ID here when creating it and updating it. We should also never do that. Update the player limit, validate required. Cool. That is all the same for both. And yep. So now in our controller, we're asking create viewer game for broadcaster. Broadcasters. Def create viewer game. Okay, you know, this would make sense. Now it makes sense. We're just proxying through. We're basically just proxying through, but we're removing or we're doing some additional validation on top of the matches. This one is checking for player ID. The other one is checking for an entire player. I don't know if this scales, but I think it's fine. I don't know. So let's update it into here. Let's remove all these. If we're in the broadcaster scope, we can just create Vera game, and then we pass the current player. And if we rename the current player to be current broadcaster, then it would make a little bit more sense, and then we can remove this. Yeah, I don't know yet, but I don't know if this is how I want things to be structured, but let's see for now. Elixir proxy module. Not really proxy, it's like alias. I made this before in my other app. Let me check. I really need to fucking make some food. I think I had this for the auth module. Or auth helpers. Oh, well, I'm just doing this. Okay. I don't know. Because then this one is using matches, while the other one is using broadcast, so it's like, when do you use which one? Does my broadcasters need to know about how to make Vera games? Doesn't really do that now, but... I don't know. Find it very difficult. I need to read up some more, I think. But at least we can get it working. If anybody has any experience with this, please let me know on how to do this better. I'm still learning a lot. I want to get it right. Oh. Get viewer game by player ID do What exactly is the difference between broadcaster and the matches? So all the broadcaster methods require you to pass a broadcaster first. But it under the hood uses the matches, which is just a module to manage the viewer games. So the underlying like implementation is using list viewer games by player ID, but because the broadcaster module doesn't know about players, it knows about broadcasters. It will take a player, which is a broadcaster, for now, but because we haven't really nailed down that concept yet, it's still a player. Then creates a broadcaster. Well, it passes the broadcaster ID. So I think what we can do later on is create an actual broadcaster schema, which uses the players table. But I don't know exactly how I want to do that because I don't want to duplicate all the fields and such. But I think that's one of the ways. So we always scope, when you use the broadcaster module, you know you're always scoping yourself down to the player. And so I think we also want to move this one. The change set. Because if we pass a broadcaster to this as well, then we can always set copy this. We can always set the put like change set, put change player ID is broadcaster.id. This way, every change set that we create always has a player ID set. No matter what we do. Okay, so then this needs to be broadcasters as well. Maybe we need to make a module that is broadcaster viewer games specifically, that does all the CRUD actions, but for now that's all the broadcasters do, so yeah. For now it's fine. We still need the current broadcaster here too. Okay, current broadcaster. Get viewer game, exclamation mark. Goal. Current player. Current broadcaster. And then we do broadcasters. Get viewer game for broadcaster. Get viewer game. With a bang. Get viewer games. New, and then here it should be create. Show should be with a bang. Yeah, it does that. Cool. Awesome. This needs the broadcaster and the viewer game. And this should be with a bang, but then not this. Update viewer game. Broadcasters. Update viewer game. Update. Oh, you passed the entire viewer game. Cool. Doesn't really scale very well, but in terms of like it's very verbose. Like create a viewer game by player ID. Yo, El Pyromano 93, thanks so much for the follow. Very verbose. Not sure if I'm a fan. The reason why this is so verbose is I always want it to be bound by player ID. So we never make a mistake of creating records without a player ID. And on the broadcaster side too. Like, I'd rather be safe than sorry, right? Like, if I accidentally create records without a player ID, the database is gonna blow up anyways. Oh, actually, that's a good point. We should make those non-nullable. Let's roll that back. We still have... Oh, we have the user one still here too. We probably have the user test somewhere too. Let me find it. Accounts test, yes. User controller test. Bye. Okay. Oh, by the way, who was that follow? Oh, I already said that. Yeah. Okay, so we need to have a non-null here. What was it? Nullable? Null false. Oh boy, I don't have those on the other fields as well. Is that gonna be a problem? Might be. Because we never want to create queues without a player ID. Let me see if I can create a queue without a player. No. I can. That's bad. So let's change that later on. Let's create a little tiny oopsie whoopsie for that. Oh. I think I had something written down there. Ready for pickup. Adds remove ability to insert null for associations. There we go. In queues. Let's just validate nullable fields in DB. Example queues allows to insert records without assigning a player. That is big bad. We need to fix that. Tiny things like that are important. Mix Phoenix or mix Ecto rollback. Compilation error. Viewer game struct. Wait, we don't have the viewer game here. Bum 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 bum. Attributes. What? 26. Oh yeah. God, so much duplication. Z 29. What? What's wrong with... Oh. Update viewer game. Okay, we dropped the table. No more VR games. Goodbye. Goodbye, Crow World. Cool. Not allowed nullable. Sweet. Now we have the VR games table back, and I cannot insert null here or here. Yes. Cool. Sweet. Perfect. Awesome. Data integrity. Very, 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 very important. Probably one of the most important things. If you have records in there that are referencing something that doesn't exist anymore, that is gonna cause you headaches later on so much. I'm telling you. Current player, VR game params. Cool. Very verbose, but it's very safe. Cool. Okay. Update, delete. Last one. Pass a player, the broadcaster, and then a viewer game to delete. Delete viewer game by player ID. Sure. Oh, also this. There we go. Delete all. Oh, actually, we can keep the dog blocks. By player ID. Player ID. Oh. Interesting. Oh, boy. Oh, I don't know how to do this. All right. I think what it is it's gonna be this. Where we're gonna do this again. Player ID equals player ID. With a caret. And then we do repo get ID. I think this is it. I'll probably rename the update to delete row. Oh, that still counts. Broadcasters. Doing so many things at once. Cool. Create viewer game by player ID. Set up the player ID. Set up the player ID. Delete. Yes. So we're passing the broadcaster here. Delete viewer game by player ID. So we need to verify. If the viewer game, something, I don't know what happens if case viewer game dot player ID equals when it's true, I want you to do viewer game and delete it. If false, I want to do error and then the change set. Oh, this is gonna be weird. Oh, that's gonna be so weird. Oh, that's gonna be so weird. Okay, anyways. Boot error. Change set. I'm just gonna add an error to the change set saying, hey. Where are my boy methods? Where's my boy errors? Add error. Yes. Message. Player. Actually, well, viewer game. Fuck. What is the error on the player ID? Does not match with broadcaster's ID. Very cryptic error, but it should literally never happen. That's why. Like, it literally should never happen. That you're just trying to edit a player ID, that you're deleting a viewer game that you don't have. Like, in theory, this should already be caught here, but we don't want our business logic to rely on the usage of it. Like, this constraint should be as low level as possible. Like, you should never have to think about this. There should always be like something guarding you from stopping you from doing this. If you try to delete a viewer game that is not owned by you, then I'm sorry, you're just gonna have a random error and you're never gonna be able to change it. We can also do this. Maybe that's cooler. No. All right, when the viewer game is the same as the player ID, then you can delete. Otherwise, you're gonna have an error that it does not match with the broadcast ID. Knees. I'm probably the only male human being that can sit like this. Cool. Let's see if this works. Just by refreshing. Oh, 41. That's way up here. When you program, you do that too? Alright, player limit 5. Let's check the DB. There's no records. Wait. Save. Okay, matches. Okay, we still have a reference to matches here. Matches dot. We don't. Get viewer game, show. Oh, it created it, I think. Did it? Why did it start with 14? Okay, that's interesting, but sure. Why does it start with 14? I don't know. Well, I wonder if this should be an int 8 as well. Because it is an ID. Also, I don't know if this is always an ID. Anyways. Whoopsie whoopsie. Okay, alright. Why is this an error? In the show action. Current player. Get viewer game. Get viewer game by player ID. Get viewer game by ID and player ID. Fuck it. Why is this, wait, empty? From viewer game, where player ID is this and ID is this? What? Oh, oops. We don't need attributes for get. Yikes. User is not viewable. Okay, good. We're in the view. Woo! We're in the view, boys. We are somewhere in the show. Show viewer game. Ah, that didn't go as bad as I thought it would be. Player limit. ID. I thought we updated all those paths, but apparently not. Player limit. We don't have an age. A viewer game does not have an age. But we can show maybe the inserted at date. And updated at date. Cool. And then we have the routes again that we need to fucking steal. This thing. Boom, boom. Awesome. Back. All right, player limit 5. That took forever. That took forever. But if we create a viewer game for another player, for ID 4. We should not be able to see these VR games. Yes, exactly. Good. But our other user should be able to view them. Fuck, I forgot to set up the config again, the secrets. Okay, we're not logging into that user. Fuck that user. I forgot to set up the Twitch credentials again. That is also something we need to do. Add developer credential management. Maybe. Because it's very annoying that locally you have to do some... jump through a bunch of hoops. Cool. Or maybe in development you could set a flag to like allow to log in as any user. I don't know. Cool, but we cannot see other people's users because, or other people's VR games, because as you can see, if we change this ID to be 3, oh, oops. Why can I not update this? Whoa, I didn't know that was impossible. So when it references a player, it stays with that player. You cannot even change it. That's insane, actually. So if the database doesn't allow us to change the player ID once it's created, interesting. Wow. I wonder. That's actually interesting because that would mean that through the UI you could never assign it to someone else. That is weird. That is weird. Anyways, I don't think that's true. Okay, cool. We can view. We can edit. No, edit also has some references. Edit viewer game. There's this weird fucking path here. References a user. Cool. Change it to 10. Player limit is 10. We can delete it. Wait. Absolutely sweet. Cool. This took us way too long, to be honest. It took us way too long. But it does work, which is the most important part. I'm not entirely sure if I'm happy with this setup, but I really need to eat, so I'm gonna call it a day. All of these things you should never be able to do anyways. But it doesn't matter because it's working. I think the next thing we should... Yeah, we should be able to join a VR game. That's the next thing. And maybe have a public URL. But we'll see. Alright, let's go over these matches. Wow. Tests will fill as well. I don't think I'll get this done today. This is cool. This is important. Returns a list. Returns a single viewer game for this owned by this player. Creates a VR game for the given player. You can also just say create VR game always requires you to pass a player ID. So we removed this entire player ID part. Because I think that's kind of tedious. We always scope things to player ID, so I don't know. We need to think about it. I really need to like read up a little bit on this. So it's this, and then the attribute. Doesn't really matter. Updates. Updates a VR game for the given player ID. Cool, so we're passing 1, 1. And then we have delete. Deletes a VR game owned by the given player ID. Maybe there's a more elegant way to do this, but we'll need to find that first. Returns an extra change set for tracking VR game changes. Yeah, this is fine. But for the broadcasters... creates a viewer game for the given broadcaster. Finds a viewer game for the given broadcaster. Updates a viewer game for the given broadcaster. And deletes a viewer game. This is scope to the past broadcast. Cool. Okay. Nice. Awesome. That's good. Yeah, we haven't written any tests yet, and we haven't really completed VR games yet, so... I'm just gonna commit this. Oh, these tests are not gonna work. Maybe not commit the tests. Implement CRUD for VR games. That's pretty much what this is. Can we still view a player? Yes. That's good too. Can a public person still view it? Can he still join the queue? No. I joined the queue. Yes. Good. Beautiful. So this router thing works, which is I'm very happy about because it kind of scopes things a little better. And we cannot really leave the queue yet, so we need to add that too. Cool, the rest is just generating, so that's sweet. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys for watching. It didn't go as fast as I hoped it would go, but we did learn again. And please, if you have any help or resources, or you've made this mistake before, or you see me make mistakes that other people are making, please point them out. Let me know. I'm always learning. And very curious to what you guys have to say. But if you're watching this on YouTube and you're enjoying this, join our Discord. Give yourself the role to keep following progress. I might actually eventually make a dedicated Discord for this project, but for now we're just keeping it to our local community Discord. Yeah, if you haven't checked my coding YouTube out and you're not watching on it right now, give it a follow or subscribe to it. I'll upload every progress basically to YouTube. And eventually I might make a YouTube channel dedicated to this project as well. But it's going to be uploaded some smaller weekly updates or something like that, depending on how much time I have to actually work on this. But I'm going to go and eat now. So, subscribe and yeah, see you guys later.